I scored around 620 or 630, and my verbal score was as low as 32, 33. I believe many of us students could just go sit for the examination and just answer questions on the basis of our intuition on what feels right and not what is actually right. And there is a lot of grammar behind one's question. So you need to understand the fundamentals, the rules of grammar behind this, and then you should proceed with the question. So before I joined eGMAT, I was a total intuition guy. And after I completed my eGMAT, I was a total fundamental guy.
Welcome, Rishav, to another interesting success story interview. You've scored a 740, something that I think a lot of students aspire to do, and you've done so by mastering verbal. I think we started off with a V32, 33, and you're sitting at a 41 today, right? So kudos to you. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Yeah, thank you, DJ, for firstly for this session and then for this introduction. I really feel good about my GMAT score, and the main goal which I wanted to achieve with my GMAT score was getting into a B school of my choice, and that was Indian School of Business. And I got an admit from the Indian School of Business. It's totally a win-win situation for me, and I would like to thank eGMAT that they laid down the path towards the to which led me to Indian School of Business. Thanks to you and your team.
Yeah, I think the pleasure is all ours, and we always say this: we don't just empower your GMAT scores. That's more of a means to an end, right? At the end of the day, and again, congratulations on the ISB part, and we'll talk about that and your journey into ISB as well, because I'm sure that you have lots to offer there. But let's talk about your verbal improvement, right? So, a guy who's in his, I would say low 30s, he knows that something is missing, something is lacking. What was that for you, and how did you fix it?
Okay, so I took the MBA mock test before choosing any coaching institute or to say any classes, and I scored around 620 or 630, and my verbal score was as low as 32, 33. So I completely knew that I needed some assistance, and I
Yeah.
am a hard believer of outsourcing things. Just to exemplify that, if you need a bag of rice, you go to a grocery store and get a bag of rice. You don't start cultivating it. So if you have something which is available in market done by experts, and it's been done with a 10 times more skill, and which can help you to reduce your time by 110, so why don't have it if it's affordable to you? So that's how I boiled down on eGMAT after doing all my research. And basically I wanted to focus on the verbal section, as you mentioned.
Hmm.
So my gaps were there in verbal section, and specifically in the sentence correction thing. So I went through the courses, and eGMAT doesn't allow you any escape. So the format goes like pre-quiz, concept, post-quiz. And if you score bad at post-quiz, you are requested to go
Yeah.
back and revise your concept. It just pops on your screen that revise your concept. So
Hmm.
there was no escape for me. So if I was bad at anything, I had to revisit. I completely trusted eGMAT with that. So I revised my concept, cemented it, and that's how, in a very structured manner, I was able to cement my concepts, then practice them, and then I was able to ace my GMAT examination.
Got it. I think there's a lot of value in what you said because, of course, the eGMAT course is as extensive and intensive as it needs to be, and there are no shortcuts out of it. And this whole structure or methodology of pre, concept, and post is very,
Mhm.
very helpful. But let's talk a little bit more about the SE course as well, right? Because before you probably started doing it, you went by your intuition or just what you could hear, right? Did that change over the course of studying SE?
Yeah, exactly. You hit the very right point, that intuition thing, because I believe many of us students could just go sit for the examination and just answer questions on the basis of our intuition on what feels right and
Hmm.
not what is actually right. And there is a lot of grammar behind one sentence correction question. So you need to understand the fundamentals, the rules of grammar behind this, and then you should proceed with the question. So before I joined eGMAT, I was a total intuition guy. And after I completed my eGMAT, I was a total fundamental guy. So I used the answering pattern which eGMAT teaches you is really extensive, and it's really interesting because you check all the fundamentals, and then and just you eliminate all the wrong answers, and then you boil down on your right answer. That's how you do it. And once you start practicing stuff, you will reduce your time, and then you are done. You can answer any question in like 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, and that's the time you get in your GMAT examination.
Got it. Now it's easier said than done. Where you said that eGMAT courses help in reducing my time, because um, we know that our method is fairly intensive and it takes some time to kind of go through each step of the process. How did you go about reducing your time? Because so many students really, they say that I can't reduce my time. I'm taking too long. How did you do it?
My self-analysis about time reduction, it comes from the concept. Until and unless you have a clear concept about the topic, about the concept, you shouldn't go and attempt questions wisely. First, you should understand that your concept about something is pretty clear. The post quiz helps you, and even if you have used the attempts of post quiz, still you have that in your brain. You can understand, you can just recall that, I'm confident about this or not. And if you're not confident about something, don't go to the Scholaranium thing. It won't help you at all. So first you need to cement things, revise it again and again. The answer is there, the concept is there, experts have made it, it's completely flawless. So once you're done with the concept, then you should switch to the Scholaranium thing. The problem with the students, I basically think, is that they rush into attempting questions. And if you
True.
rush into attempting questions, you'll take a lot of time, make a lot of mistakes, and you will never be able to understand what is going wrong with you. The thing wrong with you is that your concept is not cemented. So you need to be really sure about your concepts. If you are done with your concepts, you are confident in your brain 100% that you can go and attempt questions, then take your concepts and do remember to follow the steps. Just don't skip the steps. You cannot just skip the steps, because one grammatical mistake and it's all done. You can land into a wrong answer with
Yeah.
that one grammatical mistake. So you shouldn't rush into think or skip steps. Take time, and obviously with practice, once your concept is cemented, you do a lot of practice, the substantial required amount of practice, you'll be able to reduce your time. Practice makes a man perfect, but if you don't have concept, it won't make you perfect.
Got it. I couldn't have said it better. And we call it stage one, actually, where you're kind of building foundations. And we noticed that I would say 70 to 80% people who spend a lot of more time on concepts and revise and re-revise end up not failing later, and thereby they save time. Otherwise, people who rush through concepts, usually they have lower accuracies, timing issues. They come back to the course, keep revising it, and then you can't really figure out what happened. So I think that's a very valid point. Now, very interesting thing that I was talking to you about was that you didn't do any OG questions. You kind of just focused on Scholaranium. That's that's a first for me as well, right? A lot of people don't go by that strategy. Why did you follow it, and did you find any benefit?
I'll start answering this question with the thing that why I chose eGMAT. So I'm an ardent believer of my research. I just want to do research before I choose any course or take any product. So I did my research. I spent around 15 to 20 days doing research, attending webinar, taking demo classes, talking to my peers, reading reviews. And I can assure you that eGMAT stood second in none of them. It was the numero uno, and that's why I chose eGMAT. And once I chose eGMAT, I know experts have made it. You have covered it holistically. So you have already included all the OG questions in
Yeah.
the Scholaranium. So it doesn't makes any sense for me to go rush to OG questions or rush to any other mock tests available in the market or rush to any other questions available in the market, because all of those have been incorporated in the Scholaranium itself. So if you are able, you can't solve all the Scholaranium questions, to be very honest. So
Yeah.
if you go to the Scholaranium, attempt the questions over there, and you are done with it. You are good to go for a GMAT examination. You can, the maximum can happen is that you get bored with Scholaranium, but they will not run out of questions. So it didn't make any sense for me to rush and look for resources outside when I had everything in my home. The Scholaranium was Bible to me.
Got it. And this is actually very different to what a lot of students of ours and just as such do. They go and practice thousands and thousands of questions, GMAT Club, Kaplan, Manhattan, whatever, God knows what all. And that's fine. That may work for a few as well. But why do you think this approach specifically works with Scholaranium and you going through the course where you don't have to practice so much? Does that really make a lot of sense?
uh, Practice making makes sense because you need to understand that where do you want to reach. It's that you have a target score in mind. You know what kind of strategy you are following. You know what kind of questions you are weak at, and
Hmm.
you just need to practice those stuff. You won't be going and practicing every question available out there. So
Yeah.
you just need to target, and that's what Scholaranium offers you. You can choose what type of questions you want to solve, and you just go and solve those questions, and you are good to go. Why would you go researching things and wasting your time when you have all the things compiled for you by someone? You took the eGMAT course for that thing only, because they make resources available, they make good resources available for you at one place. So it
Hmm.
won't make sense that once you spend your money, take a course, and then you still go outside. It doesn't sound any sense to me. So
Hmm.
that's what I followed. I am a ardent believer of one teacher at a time thing. If you have done your research as well, you have boiled down on one course, one teacher, you just need to follow them, and that will make you score good in your examination.
Got it. Now let's talk about CRRC as well, right? Because that's an important part of the verbal section. How did you prepare for that,
Mhm.
and what are your takeaways from there?
Okay, I will start with the CR thing because I didn't go outside EGMAT, as I've already mentioned. So there are the concepts, those are broken for you. You need to understand that what CR questions are actually asking. We really miss out on part that what CR question actually wants to tend to.
Hmm.
And just go by our gut or intuition
Yeah.
and choosing any wrong answer. So the CR thing requires a lot of patience, and besides patience, you need to understand your questions also really well. And that's how eGMAT thing helps you. Helps you analyze questions. And that's how it worked for me in CR. And in the RC thing, practicing. Practicing makes a lot of sense in RC because there are not a lot of concepts involved in RC per se,
Yeah.
but you need to develop that habit of reading those long passages and then going through those answers. And you can take an alternative approach also, that first reading the question and then go to the passage looking for those things. So you can just experiment that what works for you, and practicing is what makes a lot of sense for me in RC thing. You just need to practice, and that was offered to me. I had pretty lot of questions to practice.
Hmm. Got it. So now that you're done and dusted with the GMAT and scored a 740 in it, I think let's move into the second half of the interview where we're going to talk about, why is it that you chose ISB? How did you get there and your journey as such, right? So I'm going to touch upon very, very interesting points that a lot of students want to know about. Um, you as a certified CA wanted to do an MBA. Let's talk about why.
Okay, so why MBA is a thing that I knew very well of, and that was asked to my interview also. So basically, I'll just go back to my CA days, and it was always the CA versus MBA thing in the market all the time. Like
Hmm.
MBA taking all the credits away, those CAs have all the financial acumen available in the world, and it didn't bother me a lot at that point of time. But when I stepped into industry, I just saw MBAs performing, and I saw that how good they are at think, and how I lagged on the analytical part. So I just wanted to break that glass ceiling. I just didn't want it to be the nerd and that financial geek. I
Hmm.
wanted to be the business guy. Just explaining about my work profile, I'm in a business development department. So I have been in the business development vehicle for quite a lot of time now, but I wanted to get on the driver's seat, and something that could have helped me was an MBA. And that's how I can hopefully get to a CEO position sometime in some industry. And that's how MBA made sense to me. I wanted to feel purposeful.
Got it. So basically, CAs don't always make it to CEOs, but then a CA who has an MBA degree from ISB does make it to become CEO, and that makes a lot of
Exactly.
sense as well. How did you go about preparing for, the different parts of the application? Let's begin with your resume. How did you kind of create your resume? What were your thoughts there? What are some tips that you can give that worked for you?
Okay, so basically, first of all, I would like to tell everyone who's listening that you need to choose your schools very wisely. Don't go widely attempting to schools or applying to schools. You need to do your research really well, boil down on schools which you really want to go to and which can lead you to the goal you really want in your life, and then apply to only those schools. And now, as your application procedure begins, you are about to prepare your resume. You need to understand that what the school is really looking for. You need to talk to alums, you need to talk to past students, you need to talk to your peers who have been to ISB, and you can read a lot of stuff online and then understand that what school is actually looking for. And then you need to analyze yourself, and you need to just balance it out that where you are standing right now. If you have any gaps, try filling those, upskill yourselves, and then prepare a resume which will sound music to the ears of the adcom. So you need to be really very sure of, as I said in the GMAT thing, just don't rush into things. You cannot simply rush into the things, because applying to a B school takes a lot out of you. It will be a really excruciating journey altogether. The first you apply, then you wait for the shortlist, then you appear for the interview, then you wait
Yeah,
for the final result. It takes a lot of time, and if you rush into things, you'll end getting frustrated. That's it. So you need to first simply understand that what the school is looking for you in you. And for ISB, I think that it looks for someone who can really make a leader. So you need to completely understand that do you have any leadership quality in you, and what is special in you that can make you a good leader, and what you can offer to ISB, because ISB is there to make business leader on basis of diversity and their courses. So you need to also understand that how you can contribute to the school. A lot of students have that thing that I haven't done something really great, but you
Hmm.
don't need to do something really great. If you have been allotted a task, you have been performing that spectacularly, your work is done. That's what you can do. You cannot just blow out of things and do something which you are not
Yeah,
allowed to
true,
do.
true.
So you need to understand that what were you asked to do, did you do that task, and how nicely you have done this, and you need to explain that to the adcom through your essays or through your resume, and it will make sense to them. I've seen people who are coming who have very very basic profile, but they have done their work decently, they have a good understanding of the subject they have prepared in their academics, and that's done and dusted.
Got it. And a lot of people believe that, if I'm not in AVP, or if I'm not, CEO staff or whatever, I mean, that's not going to go out very well if I'm just, doing a run of the mill job. And they kind of come up with things that they don't do on a daily basis. And I think that takes a lot of acceptance and thinking that what I'm doing is important. How do you portray what you're doing? It doesn't have to be like really glorified. You just need to talk about your own leadership style, and that's unique to everybody, right? I mean, it's kind of unique to you, unique to someone else. And just to add to what you said, talking to different people, there is no right or wrong thing that goes on the resume. It's all dependent on what are the gaps in your resume, what do you think, what is the feedback you got on your resume from the people you spoke to, which is very very important. And then you carry on, like I said, like you said, upskilling yourself, right? So that's very very important. Now let's talk about the essays part. A lot of people talk about ISB essays and how important they are, right? Now ISB essays are not, I don't know, it's not the most easy thing on the planet. How did you go about preparing for those?
Okay, so talking about the essays part, you don't need to answer to ISB. You need to answer to yourself. So you don't need to explain it to ISB. If you know yourself, if you introspect yourself nicely, you will have your answer on the table for you. So my essay question was that what is that one quality in you that makes you that can make you a great leader in future. So I just wanted to introspect. I just wanted to go back in memory and understand that what splendid I have done in my life, and if I have done something, what was that one quality that made me do that. I just need to relive myself. If I'm just reliving my story, I have my answers within me. I just cannot create an answer, and if even if I create it, I won't be able to defend it in the interview. So talking about the very first question, the very first essay, it was about the quality which I had. So I just introspected, I understood what quality I had, and once I identified that quality, there I had numerous examples in my life, being from small to big examples. Those quality was justifying all those examples. So
Hmm.
you just need to think about it, you just need to boil down on that one quality, and you will have numerous examples. And as said already, we are junior executives with a 2, 3, 4 years experience, so we couldn't hold a leadership position at all point in time. So if you have done something which you have been allotted, that is really good. And if that is one thing which you can quote as your example, just don't be shy about quoting what you are doing. Just feel proud about what you have done and be very confident about mentioning it in your essay. Coming to the second essay, which is generally about the short term and long term goal. So that has the answer, that is a pre-answered thing, because that's why you are doing an MBA. So if you are doing an MBA, you want something. Even if you want to mint money, that makes sense. How do you want to mint money? You just need to explain it to the adcom, because we all know that business world gives you money.
True.
If you are at some package before pre-MBA, you want to reach to some package post-MBA, and that's how you'll be able to justify your ROI. So you just need to tell the truth why you want to do MBA. Just put it in a good grammatical essay, good grammatical body, and serve it to the adcom, and they will like it. You just need to self-realize. There's nothing to lie about. If you lie, you will be caught.
Yeah, and not a lot of people realize that they write such crazy things that they may or may not have done, or they don't even aspire to do. Like, so everybody wants to be a strategy consultant, but 90% of them don't really know why they want to become one. So I want to talk about two things here. The first thing is your first essay. So to just for people watching this interview at this point of time, leadership quality. Give me an example of a leadership quality, just anything that you thought of.
Okay, so I'll just give example of what I thought of, and that is perseverance. Perseverance, put it better, it's kind of determination, a positive determination to do things. There are many other qualities which can make you a good leader. It could be your EQ, it could be your problem solving attitude, it could be initiatives that you take. There are a lot of examples there, but you need to identify the example, the quality which connects best with you. And trust me, you will have some quality in you. There's no one that who doesn't have any quality in them. You have done something in your life and you have some trait in you which made you do those things. You just need to identify those things. And as you said earlier, that there is no right and wrong answers. You just need to justify it. If you have something, go there, justify it, and you're done.
Got it. Next question. Short-term, long-term goals, right? A lot of people, I'm going to talk about short-term first. A lot of people go into ISB, they want to become product managers or, strategy consultants. What are your thoughts on this? How do you think about a short-term career goal?
I think a short-term career goal is a pathway to your long-term career goal. It's basically where you want to reach. If that part takes you to where you want to reach, your short-term goal is really correct. But if your short-term goal doesn't make any sense with your long-term goals, you're not going anywhere. And AdCom will just spot it on that, this is not working. This guy is not really sure about what he wants to do and how he will reach there. So you need to align your short-term goal with your long-term goals. Speaking about me, I'm in the business development department. I told I'm a finance guy in the business development department, and I want to become a business manager. I want to become a business development manager. Gaining an MBA will put me in that position. I have the financial knowledge. I'll gain some skills at MBA, which helps me understand business. And that's how a finance plus business knowledge is where I reach as a business manager. So that will make sense. But if you want to do something that is really out of your kitty, you don't have the academics for it, or even if ISB wants it, they cannot make it, they will not take you, because they know that they cannot take you where you want to go. So you need to understand that your short term should align with your long term goal firstly, and it should be attainable. It should not be unattainable at all.
Got it. And long-term goals, yeah. So long-term goals, everybody wants to become CEO of a company, wants to become an entrepreneur. How do you decide what's right for you?
It's basically what you dream of. Everyone has a dream, and that's what we are given a life for, to live our dream. So if you want to live, you want to reach somewhere, you always have that at the back of your mind. It's possible that you have 2-3 things you are juggling between, and you just need to sit down, write down the stuffs, do your research, understand that these are the things, talk to people from that industry, understand that this will satisfy you or not. If you feel that this will satisfy you, that is your long term goal. If you feel that no, this doesn't go well with your qualities which you have or the person you are, that is not your long term goal. So you have that thing, you have those things which you keep on thinking that where I want to reach. And if you can just put the things on pen and paper, it will be really great for you. Talk to people from the industries who are already living that life, read about them, go to their blogs, and it will help you a lot.
Got it. I think that's been very, very helpful. And I think, Rishav, again, a lot of joy came to us when we got to know you got into ISB. Um, Congratulations again. All the best for your tenure, at ISB and your term there. And we wish you all the success.
Thank you so much, DJ. I really wanted to be part of this session, and I really hope that my session reached to some relevant ears and they can gain positively out of it. It was a real pleasure. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm sure that it will definitely reach the right ears. And these sessions are very, very helpful in so many ways you won't even realize it. And I'm sure that once it goes live, I'll share it with you.
Yeah, sure.